Hi, this is Regina of Morel Fiber, and in this video we're going to cover increasing and decreasing in Tunisian crochet, specifically in Tunisian knit stitch. So I have my swatch of Tunisian knit stitch laid out here, and I'm going to be working the next row on that. And I do have videos for creating the Tunisian knit stitch from the start on this same channel and playlist. So to get started with our increases, we're going to take a look at the stitch. As we can see, it's got a little space in between those stitches. And to increase, the same as with the Tunisian simple stitch increase, you just insert the hook into the space before or after the stitch. So you're just drawing up a loop from that space. Your hook is going under the return pass chain, not through any kind of stitch loop. So here's a Tunisian knit stitch. As you can see, I'm going through those loops in through the front and coming out at the back on the other side. And again, I do have a video for this. So we've made one increase, and that was pretty simple. Next, we're going to set ourselves up for a decrease. And to decrease, we just insert our hook normally through the first stitch, and then we go ahead and insert it through the front, through the two loops, and out the space on the other side. Just the same kind of pass we would work if we were working one Tunisian knit stitch. We work that same pass and just pick up two Tunisian knit stitches instead. The first stitch in this decrease, and here we're just going to draw up one loop from those two stitches. The first stitch, you insert the hook really just through the front bar and then just go right on through to the next through set of loops, and then come out that space on the other side. And as you can see at my decrease here, kind of still leaves one bar of that stitch hanging behind. Be sure not to work that one off by mistake, because you'll just add another stitch, which negates your decrease. So here I've finished my row, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit. You can see I have my increase coming up through that space here, and my decrease where you can see those two stitches drawn together there. Just like with Tunisian simple stitch, increases and decreases are done only on the forward pass, and the backward pass remains normal. So I'm going to return pass, just like I would on any other Tunisian stitch row. And working the last those loops off the hook, I have one loop left on the hook. That's going to become the first loop for the next row. And here's my row. And I'm just going to continue to work another row and do a few more increases and decreases. Right here, I'm just working these stitches as normal until I get to this increase here. Just work that in the exact same manner as you would a regular Tunisian knit stitch. So inserting through the two loops through the front and coming out the other side on the back. And here I'm working my decrease. Again, you work the increases and decreases the same as the other stitches. Getting my last two loops through there. And now I've returned to the front, and I'm going to go ahead and work in the very first space. This is the first opportunity you have to make an increase because you've already got one loop on the hook. So the very first space after the very first stitch is the first place you can make an increase there, and that's a good place to expand the edges. And the increases are pretty well hidden there. I wanted to go ahead and demonstrate that because that's worked in some of my patterns. Now, increasing by one and decreasing by one we've accomplished, but we can also decrease by several stitches at once. So if we wanted to Tunisian knit 3 together, we could pick up the first 2 stitches by just inserting our hook straight through in between those loops, the standing loops. And then the last one, we go in through the front and come out the back to finish that knit stitch setup. And then we just pull up 1 loop through all 3 of those stitches. And that decreases your stitch count by 2. So that's a Tunisian knit 3 together, much like a regular crochet together decrease. And we could even do 3, 5. You can do mini stitches decrease together. I think in one of my patterns I do 5 together or 4 together. So there's my completed forward pass. As you can see, I've got several Tunisian knit stitch decreases there, and I've got an increase. And again, we just work the return pass just like we normally would. So hopefully this has been helpful. They have other Tunisian knit stitch and Tunisian simple stitch tutorials in this playlist. Wanted to put together this collection specifically for those that needed guidance with the elf coat pattern, which is my most popular Tunisian knit stitch pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description below. And as always, thanks for visiting, and don't forget to like and subscribe.